Yes, good morning to you, everyone. This is a final year project group for computer science. And our project name is Credit Hunt, and the members in the group include Grace Lewis, Ayla David, Katura Models, and me, myself, presenting Komuli Patrick. The contents of our presentation will include the introduction, problem statement, as well up to the acknowledgement, as you can see in the slide. I'll first start with introducing the project. Credit Hunt, we actually now trying to reach out to farmers who can't acquire, who usually face a problem with acquiring loans, maybe to push their output, their productivity. So Credit Hunt actually is now helping actually these farmers show their credibility to be given actually more loans by the bankers. So actually what we actually do is we have the farmers data, and our system actually shows how credible a particular farmer is to acquire a particular loan. Yeah. Then, so we came up with a problem statement which stated that to increase credit access to the local subsistence farmers, there should be an accurate data to provide their credit worthiness, to raise their confidence, the confidence of the credit providers. Like I explained in the introduction, that's actually what the problem statement is bringing. So we came up with different objectives, and one of them was to determine the amount of credit needed to subsidize the subsistence farmers, to classify the borrowers into different classes based on their credibility. Actually, now this is what the system is mainly doing, classifying all the borrowers to different classes. Let me say there's an A class, A plus, B class, depending on actually the data sets we have in the system. Then the other is to determine the relative income of subsistence farmers, as this will be the role of determining the amount of credit to be issued. Yeah, so it's that's self-explanatory. Then as a team, we came up with a different research questions, and actually, this is actually the main data we shall be needing from the farmers themselves. Like you shall need the biodata of the farmers, the education background, area of activity, then maybe their monthly income. Yeah, that from this data, the system can actually now classify them accordingly. Uh, then also you can also talk about the purpose of the loan, since it was also needed. Now, for this system to work, we came up with a methodology. So the methodology is that after collecting all this data from an individual, you have it in your database. System as a database whereby all this the individual's data is collected. Then we classify from that database. The system will classify each and every data. For example, classifier one, base classification one will actually classify, let me say, the area where different particular individual is coming from. For example, if a farmer is coming from Kisoro, Kisoro, these guys are good at producing, let me say, Irish potatoes. So Irish potatoes, they give you now, like, gives you a base for actually now to start classifying a particular farmer. Then classify two, now it comes from their yearly income, monthly income, then so on and so on. So from now, that first classification is actually now that output is again now classified again to get a different now. Like now, the model now again classifies that output to get a one common output. It's now from that output that actually again now the classifier will grade now different farmers. Now grade them that, let me say this one is a class A. Let me say it's a class A farmer. So a class A farmer is what is being given, let me say, a million over a year, depending on the different from the data sets which were gotten from the first classification. Yeah. And the next slide actually it's still talking about it. We are explaining more of actually what the model is doing. Um, then expected results. Now these are like after now the model has classified a different farmers classified. Let me say in class A. Class A you can borrow such and such. Then class A plus. Then B plus. Yeah, that's right. Actually the work of now the model will do. Then uh, then expected results. From the estimated results, we expect that most of the subsistence borrowers fall into the class of A related to the different classification. Yeah, this is self-explanatory. Depending on what the data set, we feed the model, it's now the data set that a particular farmer will be classified into a different grade. Then, in conclusion, we believe that providing credit providers with the right amount of information to boost their confidence in lending to the low-income function of farmers will play significant control in helping to raise the income levels of the producers. Yeah. Now this one, we mean that actually, if we found a farmer, let me say, who has been producing maize on a single acre of land, let me say 1 acre. So if we actually make it possible, if we boost the confidence of the money lenders, that actually if we give money to a particular farmer, you can maybe boost his productivity from 1 acre to 2 acres. Yeah, that's actually what we're trying to do. That now from this, that a subsistence farmer can move away from practicing subsistence, maybe commercialized farming. And then our future work is to partner with government agencies to extend micro-lending facilities to small-scale farmers. And actually, the other future work we can actually talk about is we ourselves can again partner with the government, or we can actually now, if the project is funded very well, we can actually be doing now we can extend now the loans to these farmers by ourselves. We won't need now the credit providers. We shall actually be the credit providers ourselves, since we still have all this data in our system. And then these are some of the references we came up with as a group. Yeah, you can read through, and yeah. Thank you all for listening. Acknowledgement. My first acknowledgement goes to all the group members of this team: Katura Models, Ayla David, Dorothy Lewis, and me myself for the tireless work we have done to come up with this idea, try to model it up, and come up with something good. Then to the Bank of Uganda for the extensive writing on credit access to Uganda. Actually, it's from this data that you can know that actually the government is trying its level best to help out subsistence farmers out there. Thanks for listening to me.